that a man, Latch O'Toole, lost his life on Saturday, and that occurred during an interaction with members of our service. On behalf of all members of the Calgary Police Service, I offer my most sincere condolences and acknowledge the pain that is being felt by his family and friends, both here and back home. Shortly after 3:40 p.m. on Saturday, CPS officers responded to calls, 3 calls in fact, from different members of the public concerned for their safety after they encountered a man with a stick and a knife on a public street. An innocent passerby had allegedly been struck with the stick. You may be asking, why is this important? Much has been reported about Mr. Toole's challenges with his mental health and that he had been struggling of late. But the call that the police responded to was not, when reported, about mental health. It was a complaint of an assault involving a man in possession of a knife and a stick in a busy public area on 17th Avenue, Southeast. Some have suggested that the police were not the appropriate resource to respond to a call such as this, and that maybe mental health resources could have responded instead. To be clear, with the situation and information that was provided to Calgary 911, this situation involved a person armed with weapons who had committed an assault. This was a police call, and police were the appropriate resource. At a point during the negotiations, officers trained in the use of the R1 attempted to temporarily incapacitate the man and separate him from those weapons. Their attempts were unsuccessful. Several videos were uploaded to social media where you can hear the R1 being deployed 2 times, once while the man was seated and once while he is standing. But before he moves in the direction of the officers. Some commentators appear to have confused these sounds with gunshots. They're not. The man was undeterred by the R1 projectiles and very quickly advanced towards our officers, who were standing at a safe distance near their police vehicles. One officer deployed their taser. It too failed to stop his progress. Several officers and a police dog were standing near a police vehicle. The dog remained on a leash and was under the control of his handler. The man quickly advanced toward the officers, attacking the service dog with a large stick and then stabbing it with a knife. PSD Jack was stabbed to the neck. He was rushed to emergency veterinary clinic where he underwent surgery to repair his wounds. While attacking the dog, the man continued to move toward the officers. 2 officers discharged their service weapons, striking the man. Sadly, he was declared deceased at the scene. You know, a lot has been reported about, in relation to this case and Mr. Toole, a lot was reported in the days that followed in relation to his personal situation. Now, one thing to understand, though, is that the police officers responding to this call and calls like it did not have the benefit of any of that information. What they did know is that an individual was in possession of weapons and had committed an assault. So in their mind, the individual would have been arrestable for at least 1 count of assault. And then obviously having observed him in possession of weapons, they would know that he would also have been arrestable for possession of a weapon. So in terms of what might be a trigger or what might be a good thing to do or what might be an adverse thing to do, not understanding his particular condition would make it very, very hard to know that. I think that's why, in situations where, you have a wellness check at a residence, for example, when you know who you're going to see, mental health professionals who can access an individual's history because they know who it is and they have access to that information can actually go a long way towards planning an appropriate response and knowing what might be a landmine and what might be actually a good road to go down. But I can tell you that the officers that responded in this case did not have the benefit of any of that.